Hey everybody, Johnny Vivento here. How you doing, everyone? Wow, look at this house. I really wanted to buy this house a couple of years back. It wasn't for sale, but it is now. You had a for sale sign on it like 3 days ago, I noticed, and it's been sold. The sign's gone. I knew somebody would buy it. Beautiful place. Anyway, I hope you've liked the last couple of videos I've done, because I've been like by the beach or whatever. Now I'm in town at this is where I live. You see the water on the ground? Last night we had a torrential rain, like the worst rain you've ever seen. It went down for like 5 hours. It's a 5 hour rain, man. That's non-stop. Like it poured, you know. And I had a kind of flood in my living room because I don't know why I didn't close the door correctly. I probably had it like a ½ an inch open. That was a massive mistake. I didn't realize. But anyway, how you doing? So, as you see, I've been mentioning Sarasota Tim a lot recently. He's still being watched. He's getting great views. And there's a reason for it. And you know that. There's so many jealous people out there. Some of the comments I got were absolutely horrendous about Sarasota Tim. I had to get them off. All I got to say, damn right offensive is the word, not. So I've taken those ones off. Kind of really offensive. I mean, it's incredible. One guy can really make everybody riled up that much. Now, I heard he's going to court. I heard a rumor. They've been talking about it, that Sarasota Tim is on his way to court on Monday. Is that correct? Could he be in jail? It's possible. With today's regime, stuff can happen, right? But you know something? Sarasota Tim is a massive Trump fan. And that will serve him in good stead, believe me. Oh, God. I think he's going to be okay. I don't believe he's a grifter. He's a businessman. And when I say he's a businessman, he found a niche in the media world, and he filled it at that time, after COVID. He took a chance and he won, basically. And he's making a good living. I'd estimate he's probably making, apart from his Social Security, I would imagine he's making like $5 grand a month. That's what I estimate. Of his views, of his subscribers, of his buy me a coffee. He's doing okay. To be honest with you, I don't make any money out of YouTube. I hardly have any subscribers. I'm trying, man, I'm trying. Now I am. I wasn't really before. But it's not that I want to make any money, but I'd like to make $5 grand a month. 5,000 bucks a month just for going on videos, you know, doing videos. And that's why he's doing 4 or 5 a day. He's making money. And he enjoys it. There's a saying that if you enjoy your work, you'll never work a day in your life. Now, I've had jobs like that. When I was working at the nursing home in Colorado, it wasn't like work to me. I used to get up, I used to go to work, do my job, and I enjoyed it. And people used to say to me, how the hell do you do it? You know, you're working like 12, 13 hours a day. You're coming up to 70 years old. You know, you're 67, 68 at that time. And I used to say the same thing. You know, if you enjoy your work, you'll never work a day in your life. And I didn't feel I was working. I enjoyed it. I was taking care of veterans during the day and Alzheimer's and dementia, poor souls at night. And I enjoyed it. I never had a run-in with one person. Oh, hey, I tell a lie. One person I did have a run-in with, Because there was one guy there that was taking care of a veteran in Colorado who lived in a I would say $1.5 million house, or maybe $2 million, massive place. And I had to run in with his wife because they wanted me to do electrical work, which I did. I saved them a lot of money. A group of guys came and finished their roof, okay, and knocked out the electricity between the roof and the awning, and they couldn't turn their lights on outside. And of course they went to a local electrician. He says, well, we've got to take this off, that off, that off, that off. We have to do it, has to be done, otherwise we'll never find the problem. And she asked me, what do you think I should do? And I looked at it, and incredibly, there was a small electric box in between the awning and the guttering. And I said, I didn't say anything to her. She couldn't speak English. They were Polish people. Okay, now the wife was Polish. She'd been in the US for like 40 years. And the man was a Polish American who was disabled. He was okay. He was kind of a nice guy. The poor guy was disabled, And he had had this trouble since Vietnam. And I felt real bad. And I was thinking, well, but I'm going to help him. And I did everything that I could for these people. And I changed all their lights in the house. I did lots of stuff, for them. I cleaned, especially their carpet. I vacuumed every time I got there. And I tried to take care of them, but the lady was very, very, don't do this. Help me with my electrical stuff. Help me with my brickwork. So when I told her I'd worked on construction before, she had this idea that I can help her with her pointing of bricks outside her house. Some of the brickwork was fading, and so I did. I went out and bought some sand, cement, some lime, and I got to work, and I helped them out. And then it came to the electrical part outside, where she had the awning and the guttering and the roofing parts were like new because they'd just been replaced. And I saw this little transformer box outside. And what they had done is they had knocked, it wasn't a big job. I mean, they were quoted by companies to take the guttering off to get to the problem. But incredibly, I gave it a hammer. Boom. And the lights came on. I said, oh my God. So I went in there and I told her to turn all the electricity off, which she did. And it was just 2 loose wires in like this transformer box outside, in between the awning and the roof, just by the guttering. You couldn't see it. The gutter came down so low, you couldn't actually see this box. But that's what it was. And they had accidentally pulled it. That's all they did. And she was quoted all kinds of money to get it fixed. And I said, I've just done it for you for nothing. All the lights lit up like Christmas, man. She never really over-thanked me. She said, oh, thank you very much. Oh, great. That was it. That's the last thing she ever said about. And then we had a problem. I had a big problem with her because she wanted me to shower her husband, to take him in the shower because she couldn't lift him. And the guy weighs about 275 pounds. The guy weighs like 275. It was tough. And to get him in the bath, almost impossible. So I told her, why don't you take him in the shower? The shower's right there. And she would not do it. Her husband likes to sit in the bath. And I told her, I said, no. Well, she said, so-and-so did it. Well, who's so-and-so? It was a little lady that used to help out. And I said, how the hell did she get him in there? So we had this big argument. The next thing I know, she makes a complaint to the VA. I told them all about it, and they told me, they said, this is about the 20th time that she has called about a certain person that's helped her husband in a complaint fashion. So I told the VA, I said, listen, I'm not taking care of him anymore. He's a nice guy, but I just don't want to, man. I just don't want to be in that situation with these people. And I stopped going. And by the time I left the VA, they'd gone through like 4 different people after me. Okay, one of them was an African guy, you know, and he didn't like him because he was African. He was, you know, he was black, and most of the VA carers are black, most of them. So these guys requested a white person, if you can believe that. But anyway, that's how it was. But anyway, that was the only time. But I enjoyed my job. Apart from that, my job was awesome. Loved it. And I spoke to somebody there yesterday, and they say, man, if you want to come back, you got your job back. So at the VA and at the nursing home where I was for dementia and Alzheimer's disease. This is where I live. This is my town, Centro de Luna, where I live. It's a very quiet place. It's Saturday. Nobody's really on the road because it's Saturday and people need a rest, man. Mexicans work hard. Mexicans work so hard that, have you seen the dollar price? It's dipping under 17 now. Dipping under 17 pesos per dollar. You can only get like 16.80 now in the bank. And restaurants are doing 16 flat right now. So it's a far cry from the 21 of last year. That's a lot of money. If you think about it, 5 pesos on a dollar, that's massive. So if you have $1,000, that's $5,000. Sorry, if you have $1,000, that is 5,000 pesos less from last year. So every $1,000, you're losing about 250 bucks because of the dollar price. If you can believe that, but it's true. That's about the equation. The time right now is 12:20, and it is about 94 degrees right now. If you can believe that, 94 degrees. Fellow Americans, let me tell you something, man. You can do this. I am telling you, you can do this. When I see wealthier Americans coming to Mexico, especially to my area, you see down here how beautiful gated this place is. And here's another gated place, and there's a place for sale there. He has an on venta sign on the gate. This is a beautiful place to live. But I see wealthy Americans coming here with lots of money. And they have a good time. And I'm thinking, wow, even if you're a poor American, man, you could still do this. Because when you have the beach and the sea and like everyone's happy and the weather's incredible, excuse me, you don't need money. Really. Yesterday, I walked by the marina for like an hour. It was amazing. It really was. It was amazing. I had such a great time just walking alone. My wife was working, and I had to walk alone. And sometimes I like to be alone. See this? Everyday Mexican life, see? Hi. This young lady just blew me a kiss. Incredible. I don't know. Let's see how nice this is. Well, around here, they're building everywhere. This was all vacant land over here. Like 3 years ago, there was nothing here. And now they're building. People are getting permits and they're building right now. Well, anyway, sometimes it's nice to be alone. Like Sarasota Tim, he goes to a few places a couple of times a week, meets people. But he likes to be at home, making his food. He has a little trailer, so he's in there. He has the outside. Florida, the weather's always good. What's wrong with that? That's a nice place for retirement, right? But as I say, he's making a lot of money, and with that kind of money, his Social Security, which I believe is $1,800 a month, you could never survive in the United States with that. You couldn't. The only way you could survive was to find a room somewhere, in some rundown place. Your food is going to cost you that per week. If you think you've got 30, let's say 30 days a month, and you spend 10, how are you going to spend $10 a day? I mean, 15 at least. That's $450 plus your rent. It doesn't leave you with much, does it? The only way you could really do it is to buy a bicycle and just cycle around all day, basically on $1,800 a month. But that's the United States. Things are incredibly expensive. People just don't realize, because you guys live there, so you're like, well, we're used to this, you know. But if you come to Mexico, you could make it work because you have the weather, you have the beach, and that is worth, and I'm not exaggerating, that is worth $5,000 a month. When you have the beach, which is down this road here, like 2 miles down this road, you have a beach. And that's worth $5,000 a month if you're there every day. You got to look at it that way and you go, wow. Because if you're in the United States working your ass off all year and you say, well, I'm coming to Mexico for 10 days, how much is it costing? Well, the minimum is $100 a night. So that's $1,000, plus your flights, plus your food. And that's just for one person. Let's say there's 3 of you. Think about it. And you could just come here and live. I swear to God, a family of 4, you could get away with less than $3,000 a month here. You know, all in. Apartment, food, entertainment, beach, $3,000 a month. Can you believe that? You could easily get away with it. A single person, maybe $1,600, $1,700, and a couple, maybe $2,500. And you could move to Mexico. I tell you, they give you 6 months at the border, every border, and just come and live here for 6 months if you want to get away from the US. There's certain stipulations regarding, you've got to be very careful and your passport doesn't expire. You know, that's stuff like that. Your credit card, because mail here is like non-existent, man, unless you go through DHL or excuse me, or FedEx. See, they're building these new apartments over here right next to where I'm always here. I like to sit outside here, you know, and just have a good time and relax and just enjoy the sun, basically. Anyway, let's get back to everything. All these new startup YouTube channels, all anti-Sarasota Tim. And there's millions. I mean, every day there's at least one, a new one. I'm sick of watching them. Same old thing. But they're doing well. They're making some money. I look at their subscribers. Nothing like Sarasota Tim's subscriptions. But they're making money, man. Somebody said to me, why don't you just go anti-Sarasota Tim? You're going to make some money. I said, I don't want to. I'm not that kind of person. I like him. I like watching his stuff once a week. But I'm not the kind of guy that wants to watch things over and over and over again, the same stuff. I'm just not, I don't have the time. You guys know that I speak a couple of languages. I even do videos in German. And I watch German videos a lot. I watch quite a few French ones. I watch quite a few Spanish ones too. So I understand mainly everything. In German, everything, but in French and Spanish, 60-40 plus. 60-40 in my favor, I could say. But anyway, it's great being out here with you guys. It really is. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. See nice guys, working guys. These guys work their ass off. They really do. We've got the security gate, which is this is actually my main security gate. Little doggies. They're not allowed to, must be on a leash, and they're not allowed to do anything like that on the on this green. There's a place over there for this, you know, so it's very strict here, the rules that they impose, not imply, impose. Imply and impose. These are the new buildings that just went up in the last 6 months. They're nearly full now. A lot of people bought them and they don't move. They come from Mexico City or Guadalajara, and they just buy the places and just leave them there until they're ready to retire or whatever. That's a big thing in Mexico. But anyway guys, I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe, please, to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And I love you all. I'll do another one later.